This whole podcast is just going to be me saying, wow, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden is quite exceptional.
Yeah, you guys are going to win. Hi, and welcome to Motherhood Around the World, a podcast that celebrates moms everywhere and dives into the nuance of parenting in different countries. Today we have with us my friend Sofia. Born and raised in Stockholm, she lives there with her husband and two boys ages 7 and 10. We met during her time as a model in London. Now she works full-time as a photographer's agent. Sofia, it's such a treat to have you with us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Emily. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Obviously, we met in London. So how long have you been living back in Sweden?
We did. I've been here for 13 years now. I was born in the south of Sweden, and in my early 20s, I moved to London to do modeling. That's where I met you. And then the more I thought about having children, the more I started considering moving back to Sweden. And then I relocated to Stockholm with my then boyfriend, now husband.
And do you live close to family? Do they help you? What does your village look like? What's your support system there?
Not huge, unfortunately. Our families live in the south of Sweden still, which is 6 hours away by car. But we have friends in similar situations, so we help each other. Yeah, and the kids are starting to get older, so they can spend an hour on their own, which really helps. They can go to school without us and go back in the afternoon. So that really helps.
How does society view kids in Sweden? Are kids welcome everywhere? Or do you sort of need to go to kid-friendly restaurants? Are people helpful if you have the pram? I know you're out of prams now, but when you have a pram, did people help you on the bus?
Yeah, it's really kid-friendly. I would say you can bring them anywhere and you can breastfeed, wherever you want. You get the odd look from the older generation, and you can have a nasty comment, but generally it's very child friendly.
And what about the rumor we hear that you can leave your kid outside in a pram sleeping when you duck inside a shop or a cafe?
Yeah, Danish style, right? You can do that here as well, but I always like to keep an eye on my baby out there. I mean, I wouldn't put the pram anywhere, but they sleep a lot outside, actually, babies, even in the winter. You just tuck them in all these cozy duvets and things and put a hat on, and they sleep like angels in the cold.
We think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your journey to pregnancy. Did you need fertility care? Did you need extra healthcare? Was everything available to you?
I actually, for some reason, I thought I would struggle to get pregnant. And I have so many friends of mine thought the same, which is really weird. I had this picture in my mind that it would take maybe a year or two. So I told my boyfriend that I'd like to start trying before we were married, because I was 32 at the time. And I told him it's probably going to take some time. I don't want to feel stressed. I don't want to get married and then everyone is waiting for this baby to appear. But I was so wrong. I fell pregnant within 2 months. I was really happy, but I was also shocked and surprised. So yeah, I was 32 at the time and I had my baby at 33.
I think a little bit of the worry, and this is a good thing, it's that more people talk about fertility treatment now. So because you hear about it more, you understand that it is quite common. So you think maybe that will apply to me. And it's great that women are talking about it, but it is funny that you automatically assume that will also apply to you. I think we've kind of removed ourselves from the fact that it is something natural, and most of the time it can happen pretty easily.
Yeah.
How are you supported during your pregnancy and birth? What's it like over there? Is it hospital-led care? Is it midwife-led care? Do people do home births?
You go to see a midwife every I don't remember, once a month perhaps, or once every 3 weeks. And I had the standard is to have 2 ultrasounds, one in week, I don't know if you talk about weeks globally, but week 12 and one in week 20, I think, halfway.
Yeah.
So that's been sorted and for free. And then if you do one, is it called CUB, chromosome test that requires blood test? That's also included.
That's the second level of testing here. They like do an algorithm and check the back of the neck. And then if that doesn't look great, then they'll do the blood test. So that's included for you guys straight away.
It didn't used to be like that. I think it was like an addition you had to pay for, but now I think in most parts of Sweden it's included.
That's nice because that just takes the worry out of it.
Yeah, and then you can obviously go for more testing privately if you'd like, but that's what's sort of included. I had quite a normal pregnancy. I didn't need anything else. I mean, I was suffering from rash and I had a stuffed nose for 9 months and things like that.
No one tells you about the stuffed nose. Why is that not in any book? I had that. It was horrible.
I know I got addicted to these sprays. Struggled to come off them, nose sprays. And I really thought, oh my God, my baby's going to have all these brain damages because I used the nose spray for 9 months, but it's all fine.
Yeah, more mum guilt.
Exactly.
And do most people give birth in a hospital there?
Yes, but actually in the last couple of years, home birthing has been a big topic. And I think the support is being more and more accepted, and you can give birth at home. But it's very controversial here, actually. People talk about we've been spending all these years to have a safe labor, and we've had all these scientists working on it to have a safe location for labor, and then you want to go back to your roots and use nothing of that. So it's quite controversial, but it's available in some parts.
Did you make friends while you were pregnant? I've heard that in Sweden you kind of get hooked up with a mums group of other women who are pregnant.
Yeah, you do. Once you have the child, you do. But I didn't really. I had some friends. We were all in the same age, so some people were pregnant. Some girls were pregnant at the same time as me. So I don't think I made any new friends, but I started hanging out with more friends that were pregnant.
Old friends from childhood that you reconnected with when you moved back?
Yes. So that was nice.
What was your experience like in the first few weeks after childbirth? Did you go straight home? Did you stay with family? How long do you stay in hospital there?
I think I stayed 3 nights because it was the first time for me. And that was nice. I didn't sleep much. I was on high. And I remember thinking, oh, this is great. I'm just going to go back home. And I had this wedding I was going to the weekend after. I had all these plans. And then it all hit me once I got home. I was like, oh my God, I feel so weak. And I hit the baby blues really badly, day 4 or 5, when the breastfeeding started, the hormone high. And I was feeling miserable, really miserable, but luckily only for a couple of days.
Okay. So the baby blues, it was just a temporary hormone readjustment.
Both times. It's yeah, I read somewhere it's the highest hormone jump in your life that's after giving birth. It's a huge thing for the body.
Did you find it hard to choose names? Did you go for really Swedish names? Did you go for names that would work internationally?
Well, first of all, I was sure that Oscar, my firstborn, was a girl. We didn't want to know his gender, so that was a surprise. I don't know. I made this up that I was having a girl in my head, and he was supposed to be called Elsa after my grandmother. So we had to rethink, and then I just came up with Oscar for some reason. I think I associated it with some hot guy in school, which I've done both times.
I chose my son's name off a rugby jersey I saw when I was 16. So I get it.
But I did want the names to work internationally. So Oscar is spelled with a K. That's the Swedish way of spelling, but Oscar is known all over the world. So I kind of like that name. And then Max is called Max, not Maximilian or anything. And that's a family name for my husband's. His uncle is called Max, who's 80 something. So, and I really like that name too. It's cute and kind of tiny bit quirky, international.
It's also quite timeless.
It's timeless. Yeah, I like it. And I do think I can recall some hot guys being called Max as well.
Cool. I think everyone can think of hot Swedish guys. You guys have cornered the market on that. Now, the big question that everyone is obsessed, jealous, curious about is the maternity and paternity leave situation. Is it as good as we think?
Yes, you might have to sit down now because it's actually, you get 480 days of paid parental leave in Sweden per child.
Wow. And you can share it out between parents however you like.
90 days are reserved for each parent, but then you can play around with the days as much as you would like. And 390 of the days are based on your income, and 90 of the rest of the days, that's 90 days. That's about 15 euros a day. So that's low. It's basically nothing, but you still have them.
Does anyone go back to work earlier, or does everybody take the full allowance?
I think everyone takes a full allowance, but you can, the days last until the child is 12. You can use them for like to extend your holidays, or yeah, you can really play with them.
Until they're 12.
Yeah.
That is genius.
I think it used to be 8 and now it's 12.
Wow.
But I actually took quite a lot of the leave. My husband took one summer, so he got the really nice bits. But I have to say, I mean, in Sweden, you see, I think it's quite equal. It is a lot of more mums taking more days.
Can you take time off at the same time? Like, could you both do your 90 days at the same time? Could you both take 3 months off together?
I think you can actually. I never really discovered that, but I think you can somehow. It's the rules are it's a lot of rules. I haven't really studied them in a while, to be honest, but I think you
Don't
can.
have the handbook.
No, it's I heard this comment that someone visiting Sweden were surprised by all the gay nannies walking around. But it's actually daddies.
Dads.
You see a lot of dads hanging out together with prams and coffee, having coffees, and it's
That's
sweet.
so nice to normalize it.
Yeah.
Once you were ready to go back to work, what were your childcare options? Is it affordable? Is there any stigma? Do you get any judgment if your kids go to daycare?
No, everyone, all kids, I would say, go to daycare, and it's you pay, I don't remember the sum, but it's about maybe 100 euros a month.
Wow.
So it's quite cheap.
Yeah, that's even cheaper than France. And that's a full day. You drop them off in the morning, you pick them up.
Yeah.
Late afternoon, they get meals.
They get meals, they get lunch, and they get like in between meals, fruits and stuff. I think some nurseries offer breakfast as well for parents that start really early in the morning.
That's cool.
You have night nurseries for people working nights.
Really? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Wow. So you can do daycare, but specialized hours depending on your job.
Yes.
And
yeah.
do the kids spend a lot of time outside when they're at daycare, when they're at school? It's quite an outdoor. You mentioned that they sleep outside sometimes.
Yeah, some nurseries are actually they have the outdoors as their USP. It's like they do everything outdoors, but we didn't put our kids in one of them. So they don't even have a kitchen or anything. They just eat outside, they sleep outside, they play outside all year round. That's quite extreme, but it's popular. But yeah, they spend a lot of time outdoors. Even in the winter, you need to dress them well. You need to have all these different clothing, and they go out every day. I think when the temperature drops below maybe -10, that's when the small ones get to stay indoors. Because it can be a little bit dangerous maybe if they don't move.
With the whole indoors, outdoors, and spending more time outside, do they tend to get as sick? Are they coming home every single week with a new virus, or do you think spending more time outside helps them avoid that a little bit?
I think it helps. I've been lucky. My kids have never been we never struggled with a lot of illness actually. I don't know why. Maybe we're not like super careful with, I don't know, hygiene. Sounds weird, but they do wash their hands when they come home, but we've never been super careful about that.
Our kids came home every single week with something, and the little one would get it and give it to the big one and give it to the even bigger one.
Yeah, we did have winters like that, but overall it's been fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the outdoors is helpful.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
What age do they start school over there?
So they start when they're 6. It used to be 7, and now it's 6. And they start. My kids started at 8:10 in the morning, and the school ends for the small ones at 1:30. And then you go to like an after-school club in connection to the school.
And so until they turn 6, are they in daycare the whole time?
Yes.
So what does this typical school day look like? So can you walk to the school?
We can walk. It's less than a kilometer. So we walk or we get in the car if it's really cold. We also use the bicycles. Yeah, it's nearby. It's nice. So no commuting for the kids. I commute to work, but they don't have to commute.
What do you need to send with them? Do you have to pack lunches? Is it all organized by the school?
It's all being catered for. You don't need to bring anything. You can bring a fruit if you'd like, or some rice cakes, but no, they get served lunch. The food is not amazing. I heard that in France you get like a 3-course meal for lunch.
Or 4-course meal.
Or 4, even the cheese, maybe a cheese board.
Yeah, they get entree, main, cheese, and then dessert at lunch. And then they get a very cute snack in the afternoon.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they get a little bit of baguette with chocolate in it, or
so cute.
yeah.
No, the food here is it's not amazing, but I think it's fine.
It's nutritious enough.
Yeah.
And what are the options? You said your kids don't get sick very often, but when they do, what are your options? Do you just take a day off work, or do you just figure it out?
When they were small, we had to take days off, and then I think you get 80% of your income paid.
Great.
But now, once they're older, I can work from home, and they hang out watching TV with me, and I don't have to take a sick day from work.
Do kids do lots of activities over there? Is everyone running around to ballet or circus class or language school or violin?
Yes. Where we live is extremely busy. I think, in my opinion, it's almost too much for the kids, because I think they're quite tired from a day in school. It's very social, and then they're forced sometimes to go to all these activities. So we try to keep it down, and we don't have the time either. I mean, I go to work, my husband goes to work. So they play football, they've played some basketball. I mean, they obviously went to swim to learn how to swim when they were smaller, but we kept it down.
Do you have a car? Are you constantly driving everywhere? Are all their activities in your local area, or are you going all across town?
No, it's local, but you need the car, I would say. But we create these groups of parents, so we share the driving.
Oh, like carpooling.
Yes.
It seems like everybody's in the same boat, and everybody's happy to dedicate time to kids and organize around the kids and do it kind of as a team. It feels like you've got a little community of people who are all working together.
Yes, definitely.
Oh God, definitely don't have that in France.
Oh no.
No.
Don't mind your own business more.
I couldn't tell you the names of more than 2 parents at my kids' school.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 3. There's a WhatsApp, but that's also a danger zone. Yeah, stay out of that. What do you do for holidays?
We are very lucky to have a summer house in the south of Sweden, where my husband and I are from. So we usually go there and hang out with our families. It's really a nice break. We also go skiing in the winter for a week.
Cross-country skiing or alpine skiing?
Alpine, mainly. Both actually, but mainly the kids really like alpine. So we went 2 weeks ago. We went to a place in the mountains.
Do the kids get a lot of holidays from school? In France, it's 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off all year, plus summer.
Yeah, we don't have that set up. We have the summer, and then we have 1 week in the fall. Obviously, Christmas and Easter And then we have one sports break in February.
So everyone can go skiing.
But yeah, more or less. If you can afford, because it's expensive.
Yeah, that's the worst week to go. Okay, so you're not always scrambling for holiday childcare.
No, my husband works for the state, so he gets a lot of holidays. He usually takes. I only have 5 weeks of work. I think this year he's got 11 weeks.
11.
Incredible.
Is that because of extra, like working extra hours and banking
Yeah, it's
extra
things
days?
like that. It just adds up. And when you're over 40, you get another week.
Yeah,
It's
of
very,
course.
very lucky. So he takes the kids. I usually stay in Stockholm to work more than he does. Sometimes we put them in some sports camps in the summer.
Yeah.
Camps for a week.
What language do you speak with the kids?
Swedish. The English is not very good, but it's cute. They're starting to get it, and they're studying it slowly in school. So sometimes I speak English to them, and it's funny how quickly they kind of get it. But no, they're not fluent in English. Not yet.
Did you learn English in school growing up?
Yes, and then moving to London when I was 20. I didn't understand any of the British accent when I got there. I was like, I know English. How come I don't understand what they're saying? Because they were talking so fast and with an accent.
Yeah, lucky you didn't go to Scotland.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the split on housework in your family? We all imagine Swedish dads to be, cooking dinner and then cleaning the kitchen and then reading the kids a story. Is that?
Yeah, I think the new generation it's are more like that. My husband is great. He helps a lot. Yeah, it's very equal in our relationship, I would say, which is amazing. That's one of the reasons I married him, to be honest.
I think that's a valid reason.
Yeah.
And what's the split on parenting? Are you more together as a team? Do you take turns being the lead parent? Do you give each other time off?
We're a really good team, actually. And that's something you really don't know until you have the kids, I would say. It's a bit of a gamble, but we are a good team. And we really enjoy hanging out as a family. It's like, I really enjoy it, like spending the weekends with them. And Oscar is turning 11 this summer, so he's starting to be annoyed by us. And he doesn't really want to spend as much time with us as he used to, but I like being with him.
Oh, I remember when I first met Oscar with you, we were in Whole Foods in London and he must have been 9 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said like we've never been apart. He's my little buddy. We're a team.
Well,
Yeah. And I think I kind of was like, that's cute. And then, went night clubbing or something. And now I get it.
now you get it. Yeah.
Now I get it. How do your kids eat?
They have been quite picky eaters, I would say. It's been not a major struggle, but we've had to cook different meals, like one meal for us and one meal for them. And yeah, they don't really like their greens. They eat cucumber. But the older they get, the better it gets, I'd say. Oscar he's willing to try things now. He started liking salmon, which is good. But it's fine. They like white fish and they like obviously the pastas and all that kiddie stuff.
But they're clearly growing, so that's fine.
I just would love to have a child who could eat raw broccoli, but I don't.
I don't think I've even met a French child who eats raw broccoli, so don't worry. It doesn't exist. Maybe someone in Williamsburg or something. Do your kids do chores?
We really try to get them involved, especially Oscar, as he's turning into a teenager. He can be a brat sometimes, so we really try to like put your dirty clothes in the right space and clear your plates after you've eaten and normal things like that.
So just the basics.
Just the basics, but also get them involved in fixing their bikes with their dad and like.
Oh, that's quite good. That's like life skills.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's quite easy to wanting to do everything yourself. I struggle to get them involved when I cook or bake, for example, because it's so messy. I had this idea that I would love cooking with my kids, but I've been so bad at that. I really need to get them involved now.
Yeah, they do tend to put flour everywhere.
Yes, it's a lot of cleaning up.
Yeah. I was cooking with my son the other day and I said, okay, now put the egg in the bowl. And he did, but I wasn't very specific. He literally just put the whole egg in the bowl.
Oh. But I really admire people involving their kids in that. I think it's really good. And I'd like them to learn how to cook and not being boys that, completely spoiled by their mom.
Maybe there's a holiday camp cooking class or something.
Yeah.
My one of my brothers, my stepmom sent him off to one of those, like a week-long cooking class, and he loved it.
Maybe I need to do that in France.
Yeah, they send them to my house for a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's another business for you, Emily.
Yeah. Just teaching other people's children to cook. We'll go to the market. We'll have a great time. What does a typical weekend look like for you as a family?
So I really like to be outdoors because I spend a lot of time in the office. So yesterday we borrowed a dog, a neighbor's dog, and we took him for a walk in the woods. That was nice. It was cold, and the kids really, Oscar didn't really want to come. Obviously, he just wanted to stay indoors and play computer games. But once he was out there, and this happens every time, he's having a great time and he's playing. And so we know we need to push him to just come with us. But we try to be outdoors. You can go ice skating on the lake just nearby, or we have a small slope you can go skiing 5 minutes away in the winter.
Wow.
Yeah, we try to be quite active and get some fresh air and then meet up with friends. Maybe last night we went for dinner with some friends, and yeah, but we tend to stay in our area. It's suburbia. We don't really like going into town because I work in the city center and I like spending time away from that on the weekends.
Screen time. Do the kids, what's screen time like generally in Sweden? And do you follow the norm?
I know people put these automatic screen limits on their kids' screens, but we've never done that. We try to activate them instead and do things together. But yeah, it is quite difficult. I mean, obviously they love playing Roblox or whatever. It's hard to compete with that, but you need to come up with fun ideas and go, do it the whole family, I think.
Yeah, borrow a dog.
Borrow a dog, do things like that.
Maybe get a dog.
It's difficult competition being a parent having kids with screens.
Being a mom can be quite isolating sometimes. It sounds like there's a lot of support over there for you. You've created your little community with other moms.
Yeah, when you have your baby, there are some organized groups by the midwives for moms, and I used to hang out with that group quite a lot. That was nice. We used to go for walks and have coffees and talk about our kids who were all the same age. But I also had other friends with kids, so I was very social actually. It was a nice time.
Yeah, I think also because you're all off work, you all have the time to spend together building relationships.
Yeah.
This is a silly question to ask for Sweden. It sounds a bit reductive, but is there any government support for families?
Yeah, you get about 100 euros a month, maybe a bit more per child. And the more children you have, you get slightly more money. That's the support. That's like the basic support. And obviously, if you struggle or if you are alone or unemployed, you get more support.
And healthcare is free over there?
Yes, basically. Having my first child, staying in the hospital for 3 nights, having an epidural and all the other stuff. I think I paid 30 euros. That was the bill for the whole.
I paid 280. I thought that was good.
That was cheap as well. I would say, yeah.
Wow, 30 euros.
But I know in some countries the bill can be sky high.
Oh, tens of thousands of
Yeah.
Do people tend to opt for private healthcare in Sweden in that case?
Well, that's available now. It never used to be. But now you can add a private insurance and get more covered. Yeah, I haven't had that, but I know people are doing that. to get to cut the queues and things. Yeah.
Is there anything you change at a policy level in Sweden?
No, I don't think I can come up with anything actually. I mean, if I studied all the laws, I'm sure I could see something, but it's very generous, I would say.
And does it feel like it is? In some countries, you can see that policies have clearly been designed by men. Does it feel like the policies have been designed with women in mind?
Yes, nowadays, definitely. Yeah.
What are your favorite traditions in Sweden?
We have something called Midsummer. That's a summer celebration in the end of June, where that's the lightest day of the year. It doesn't really get dark. That's a really nice celebration. But we eat sort of the same food for every tradition. So we eat the same food for Christmas, Easter, Midsummer, which is a bit boring. But I like Easter as well. Easter coming up, that's nice because that's when Sweden turns spring again.
Yeah, Easter's such an underrated celebration. I love it. There's
I
no
love it.
presents to buy. You get a couple of days off. Everyone's happy because the weather's changing. There's chocolate.
It's lovely, exactly.
Yeah.
I love it
So
too.
you eat the same thing for every celebration. What do you
Yeah,
eat?
we eat herring, salmon, meatballs. Yeah, and that just goes round and round and round all year.
Just the IKEA frozen food section.
Yeah, something like that.
Is it easy to make friends in Sweden?
As for a foreigner, I don't think it's that easy, to be honest. We're quite reserved people. I mean, we are not rude or anything, but I think we come across as quite closed and a bit reserved. So I don't think it's super easy for foreigners to break through that. But then again, I think we're quite loyal. So once you make friends with us, I think it's a stable friendship.
It's the coconut versus the peach.
Exactly.
What do you love the most about being a mom in Sweden?
I think it's all the support is great, and it's so free. You can spend a lot of time with your babies and get to know them. And I mean, these years will never come back. So I'm happy I've had a nice time. So many good memories. I got a chance to pause work and really just focus on having my babies. That was special.
And do you think that because everybody does it, there's less stress associated with trying to have it all and do everything at the same time and keep clutch of your career while, pushing out babies? And did you ever feel that the constant feeling that you're always running late for something, no matter what it is? I think in Sweden, maybe you have the opportunity to do things a bit more one at a time.
Yeah. Yes. It was a nice break. And then I was really keen to go back to work. I had I got some new energy, and you also change so much. It's like you appreciate life, and it's not about work and it's not about money. It's about having a family and, being happy in that.
Yeah.
That was a nice epiphany, I think.
What is your biggest fear raising kids in Sweden?
I mean, it's a very safe place, which is great, but it's also very homogeneous where we live. The kids don't really get to know that many other cultures. I think they get a little bit closed in their views and about the world. So we really would like to live abroad, spend some years abroad, take the kids abroad, show them other cultures and just explore. And hopefully my husband can get work somewhere else. So that's what we're aiming for. I mean, they're very safe and they're having a great time here, but it's also a little bit boring.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about anything interesting that you think people don't know about raising kids in Sweden?
No, I think we covered it all.
Just keep telling me how amazing it is over there.
It is amazing, but like I said, the downside is that it's not very challenging, and yeah, it's so equal that there is not a lot of excitement, and you don't get influenced by that many others. Yeah,
I didn't even think about it like that. Okay, so what weird animal noises do you have in Sweden?
Yeah, we have, instead of, the pig says, in English, they say oink, oink, right?
Yeah.
And in Swedish, they say nuff, nuff.
What?
Yeah. Neuf, neuf. Which is the number, almost the number 9 in French. So it's all
Yeah.
weird. Neuf, neuf.
I love it. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really enjoyed our chat, and
Thanks, Emily.
looking
It
forward
was
to seeing you in Paris soon for coffee.
Yes, hopefully next week.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, please rate, review, and subscribe, which will help other people find us. See you next week.